Good morning, students. Today we will discuss chapter 2 of grade 9th history, that is Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. So students, we will discuss this chapter in two parts, that is Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution. So in two parts we will discuss this separately, Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. That is how socialism got spread in Europe, how Russian Revolution occurred, and circumstances behind the Russian Revolution, how socialism got established in Russia. So we will be talking about these aspects in this chapter. So first of all, let's define what is socialism. So socialism means common ownership, and common ownership means everybody having right to participate in decisions on how global resources will be used. So socialism means common ownership, and common ownership means everybody have a right to participate in the decisions. So under socialism, the means of production are controlled by the society or the government, and social welfare is the main motive of the socialist society. And this system, that is socialism, is against any private property. So socialism means the common ownership. It is the economic system in which the means of production are controlled by the society as a whole or government. The factors of production, like the means of production we have, whether it is water resources, the natural resources, land is there, railways, industries are there, they are under the control of the government. They are controlled by the full society as a whole, they are controlled. So that is the socialist system of economy, socialism. So this system is against any private property. So let's see the history of socialism. So socialism has its origin in the French Revolution of 1789. So you know the French Revolution, it occurred or happened in 1789, and the changes brought about by the Industrial Revolution. So if we see the history of socialism, socialism has its origin in the French Revolution of 1789, and the French Revolution only, it opened up the possibility of creating a dramatic change in the way in which society was structured. So you have seen during the French Revolution how the drastic and the dramatic changes were there in which the society was structured. Earlier the French society before the revolution was divided into estates, and the clergy and the nobility, they were having all the resources and all the privileges, and exploitation is being done with the third estate. But after the revolution there was change, and power was taken away from clergy also and from nobility also, and changes were there, drastic changes were there in the French society after the revolution. So from French Revolution it was very clear, and French Revolution only laid down the fertile ground. The French Revolution only gave a fertile ground according to which the change was possible. Earlier the society was very static. They were living under the monarchy, and people can't question a monarch. But after the French Revolution, people started questioning monarchy system. Okay, they started viewing monarchy as a evil, and they started criticizing monarchy. So the French Revolution, you know, it laid down the ideals of the liberty, equality and fraternity, and these were the core ideas or the ideals or the legacies of the French Revolution. So these ideas of the French Revolution, it created a possibility of change in the society. So this was the history of socialism. So now we have to see the age of social change. Okay, the age of social change we have to discuss. So earlier also I have told you the French Revolution, it started in 1789. Louis XVI was the monarch of France. He was executed in 1793, and dictatorship was established in France in 1799 by Napoleon. So as you have already read that before the 18th century, the French society was broadly divided into states and orders, and it was aristocracy and the church which controlled the economic and the social social power. So the French Revolution, it laid down the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity, and these were the core ideas which we got from the French Revolution. So these ideas of the French Revolution, it created a possibility of change in the society, and as these ideas got circulated, so it created a possibility of change in the society. So students, for change, we can say that French Revolution gave a very fertile ground. So the sudden change in the society occurred after the French Revolution. Okay, and before the French Revolution, what was there? Which kind of society was there? Which was dominated by church, aristocracy, aristocrats, landowners, landlords, and it was divided into states and orders. So you know the three states: clergy, nobility and the common people. So after this, but I have told you that the French Revolution gave a fertile ground for the change. But students, this idea for change, it varied all over the Europe. Not everyone in Europe wanted a complete transformation of a society. Different people, they have different idea about change also. Like some wanted gradual change, that is very slow change, whereas some wanted drastic change, radical change, instant change or the quick change. So we can say that there were different political traditions or different ideology, or European society was divided into different groups. So here we have to talk about liberals, radicals we will be discussing, and the conservatives. So we will be talking about these different ideologies, what were their viewpoint, what was the ideology, what were the features of these different groups. And this is very important topic. 3-mark question can be asked on either liberals, radicals or conservative, or the differentiation can be asked among liberals and radicals, liberals and conservative, what was the differentiation in their ideology. So let's talk about who are liberals or ideology of the liberals. So students, liberals wanted a change in the society. They wanted equality among religions, and nations should tolerate all religions. So this is our first point. The liberals are those who wanted a nation which tolerated all the religions. That is all the religions should be considered equal in a nation. So this is the first point of their liberal ideology, that they wanted equality among the religions, and nation should tolerate all the religions, that is all religions should be considered equal. After that, the second point is they were against the uncontrolled power of the monarch. Dynastic ruler means monarch here. So they opposed the uncontrolled, the absolute power of the monarch, that is the unlimited power of the monarch. So they were against this monarchy system, that why the absolute power, uncontrolled, unlimited power is being given to the monarchy. So they were against this system and they criticized this system. After that, they wanted rights for individual. Okay, the democratic kind of setup they wanted, where all individuals, they have equal rights, and it is not that privileges is being given to the some section of the society, like it was given in the according to the French Revolution. You have seen in the French society, the privileges were given to the first two states, and then discrimination or exploitation or manipulation is being done with the third estate, that is the common people. So they wanted rights for individual. Each individual should have equal rights. So 3 points we have discussed. Now fourth, they argued for a elected parliamentary government. Okay, so they argued for a representative elected parliamentary government. Okay, so they were in favor of representative government, in which we elect our representatives and they make the policy decision on our behalf. So this kind of government they want, and this kind of government will be subject to laws interpreted by well-trained judiciary that was independent of official and rulers. So what they wanted, they supported the judiciary, which must be well trained and independent judiciary. So this is very important. They wanted parliamentary kind of government subject to independent judiciary. That is, judiciary should not be under pressure of any government or any political party, so that judiciary can take their independent and fair decision. So these 4 points we have discussed. So let's see the fifth point. See the last point. They have said they were not Democrats. So however, the liberals were not Democrats. That is, they were not true supporters of democracy. That is, these liberals were not Democrats because they did not believe in universal adult franchise. Please understand this thing, that they did not believe in universal adult franchise and wanted only men with property should have a right to vote. And they also did not want the right to vote for women, though they were liberals, that is open-minded people they were, but still they don't want voting rights for the women. So this was the ideology of the liberals. Okay, 5-mark question can be asked or 3-mark question can be asked on this. So the liberals are those who wanted a nation which tolerated all the religions. That is, what is the meaning of this? That is, they wanted that nation should tolerate all the religion. All religions should be considered equal. Then after that, they were against the unlimited power of the monarch. They wanted equal right for all the individual. Then they wanted the parliamentary type of government, which will be representative government, where the people will elect their representatives, and these representatives then form the policies on their behalf. And this parliamentary government should be subject to independent judiciary, where the judiciary should be independent and they can take their independent and fair decisions. Then the last point of liberal ideology, that they were not Democrats since they did not believe in universal adult franchise and they wanted only right to vote for the rich people, that is men having the property. So the next ideology which we have to discuss is who are radicals. So students, radicals are those who wanted a radical change, that is a quick change in the society. So the radicals are those who wanted a nation which tolerated all the religions and wanted a nation in which government was based on majority of country's population. That is, whosoever will get the majority in the election, they will only will form the government. Then after that, the radicals disliked the concentration of property in few hands. Okay, they did not dislike the existence of private property. They were in favor of private property, but they disliked the concentration of this private property in the hands of few people and not the existence of private property. Please keep this in mind. And these radicals, they supported women's voting movements. They opposed the privileges of the great landowners and the wealthy factory owners because they dislike the concentration of property in few hands. Because why they dislike? Because this was creating disparity in the society. So these were the radicals. So let's see the next ideology, who are conservatives. So the conservatives were opposed to radicals and liberals, and conservatives are those who felt that changes should be brought forth very slowly, but at the same time the past should be respected. So this was the ideology of the conservatives. Conservatives were a group of ruling class and the person in power who initially opposed the change. That is, they were supporters of monarchy. Please keep this in mind. Who were conservatives? The supporters of monarchy. But after the French Revolution, they were ready for the change because they understood that change was inevitable. Change is must. But they believed that past had to be respected and change had to be brought about through a very slow process, very gradual process. So students, these were the conservatives, supporters of monarchy. So all these differing ideas or ideologies played a very important role in the world politics. cooperative. Oh, yaar. So here we have to talk about the coming of socialism in Europe. So students, by mid 19th century, the idea of socialism attracted widespread attention, and those who followed this idea came to be known as socialists. So socialists, they were basically the supporter of the ideology of socialism, and they regarded that they were against the private property, and according to them, private property is the root cause of all the social evils. So socialists were against private property, and they saw it as a root cause of all the social evil. Now, why this is so? Why that they considered it that private property is a social ill or social evil? Now, because individuals, they own the property, that is the private property is there, and industrialists, they were having the industries, and workers work under them. But this industrialists or the employers or the private property owners, they are just concerned with their personal gains, that is the profit motive only, and they are not concerned with the welfare of the workers, those who made this property productive. So therefore, this socialists wanted a society as a whole should control the property. So that's why socialists wanted a change. And then we have to see that different socialists, they have a different vision about the future. And some believed in cooperatives, okay, like different socialists are there. Robert Owen is there, Louis Blanc, Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels. So they have a different vision about the society in the future. And some believed in cooperatives. Now what do you mean by cooperative? So students, cooperative, these were the association. So cooperative, these were the association of the people who produce goods together, and they divide the profit. So cooperative, like you pool your resources, you come together, and then you share your profit. So that is a cooperative. Like the you have farmers cooperative or any other cooperative, workers cooperative, okay. So different cooperatives are there. Now I have told you that many thinkers, like many socialists, Robert Owen is there, Louis Blanc is there, they demanded the cooperative, like the person Robert Blanc, he laid stress on the individual initiative in order to build a cooperative. But Louis Blanc, he said he supported that government should encourage the cooperative, okay, that some government regulation should be there in order to encourage the cooperative, okay. Some believe that individuals only will form the cooperative at individual initiative only, but others, they stress that government regulation is very much essential in order to run the socialist society. Now the Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, they added that the industrial society was capitalist. So Marx argued that industrial society was capitalist, that is, capitalists own the capital invested in the factories, and the profit of the capitalists was produced by the workers, and the condition of the workers could not improve as long as this profit was accumulated by the private capitalists. So workers had to overthrow the capitalism and the rule of the private property. And Marx believed that a socialist society, a communist society, would free the workers from the capitalism. So this was the thinking of the Karl Marx, and according to Marx, a socialist society was the natural society of the future, and this would be the communist society in which all the means of production will be controlled by the workers only, and workers only can establish the socialist society. So this was the viewpoint of the Marx. So students, we have to see now support for socialism. It was increasing in Europe, and by 1870s, socialist ideas spread throughout the Europe. Okay, so socialists, they formed the organization also. So they were forming the organization to coordinate their efforts. Socialists formed international body, namely the Second International. So this is very important. The socialists, they were forming the organization to spread the socialist idea, and the name of one of this organization was Second International. It was formed in 1889. So it was an international body which was formed by the socialists to coordinate various activities of the socialists at international level. So similar associations were being formed in different parts of the Europe, like workers in Germany and England, they began forming the association to fight for better living conditions. So these associations were being formed in support of the working class, that is the workers, and they were fighting for their cause, that is the fight for the better living condition. So like in Germany also Social Democratic Party, in England Labour Party was formed in 1905, in France Socialist Party was formed. So different associations were being formed in different parts of the Europe, and these socialist association fight for better living conditions. So they were fighting for the cause of the workers, for their betterment, for better living condition. They were setting up the funds to help the members. They demanded a reduction in the working hours and right to vote. So for these issues, they were fighting these organization, that if anybody any of their member is in distress, they were setting up the funds. Those who want help, any help for them, funds are available. Reduction of the working hours. So this is one of the exploitation which is being done by the industrial class to the working class. So they were fighting for this issue also, that the number of working hours should be reduced and the right to vote. So these are some of the issues for which these socialist associations were fighting or taking up the cause. But till 1914 students, that is until the start of the First World War, socialists never succeeded in forming a government in Europe. So keep this in mind, that till 1914 nowhere in Europe the socialists, they have formed the government. So this was the support of socialism. I have talked about that it was growing or expanding in Europe.